Okay, let me get this straight. Hooking up and making out with different guys at the party, that's not a big deal. Then she thinks, well, doing this with a guy, it's not a big deal. Doing that with a guy, it's not a big deal. But so long as I technically stay a virgin, I'm being good. Because those girls at school are so much worse than I am, so I'm still being good, and that's not a big deal. And by the time it's said and done, this girl convinces herself that the priceless gift of her body, it's not a big deal. Something starts to die in the girl. I read about this guy, I think he lived in Texas. This dude was sleeping, and his dog started barking. Comes in the backyard, and the dog is there barking at a bush in the backyard. And the guy's like, well, that would be a bush. That's brilliant. Shut up. Go to bed. He goes to sleep. Dog starts barking at the bush again. 15 minutes later, guy gets up. He's all mad. Brought a stick with him into the backyard. Says, come here, Pooch. And smack. And the guy actually beats the dog into submission to shut it up from barking at the bush. Went back to sleep. It's like 2:45 in the morning. Dog starts freaking out, growling at the bush again. The guy threw a fit, cocked a gun, came into the backyard. This guy actually shot and killed the dog in the backyard and went peacefully to sleep. Then what happened is the robber who was hiding in the bushes got out of the bushes, walked over to the body of the dead dog, came inside this guy's house, apparently killed him in his sleep, and robbed everything that he owned. And that dog is our conscience. And I've said to my conscience, dude, shut up. Don't remind me I shouldn't be doing this with this girl. Dude, shut up. Don't remind me I should be looking at this. Dude, shut up. And then I kill a voice, do it anyway for the sake of excitement, and I think I'm free. I'm not doing what my parents want. I'm free. And then I think, dude, if I'm so free, why am I so empty afterwards all the time? This is freedom, and it can lead to like a death in a girl who says, Jason, you've got cute little stories, but look, Jason, you don't get it. Jason, look, I'm not a virgin. Or Jason, I had my virginity taken from me. Or Jason, something bad happened to me when I was a little girl. And what good guy like you're all talking about, as if I really know any, would want a girl like me that's done all the stuff that I've done? Jason, I am damaged goods. It is too late. Once it is gone, it is gone. I am basically unlovable. And the girl just thinks it is simply too late. Well, I will tell you the greatest example of womanhood and purity in my life is a friend of mine back home who slept with more men than I can count. And one day she said, I am tired of this. This girl's life has done a 180. She settled down, married to a friend of mine that raising the most beautiful family, and I totally look up to this girl. She started over. Crystalina started over. I've started over. Now we're getting married in 11 and a half days, not that anyone's counting, but with our wedding coming up, we're setting the foundation for our love together. We're doing different things. Like number one, there's no way that we're going to live together before we get married. You know, shack up and cohabitate. You know how some couples live together, they play house for a little while, test drive each other, then they get married? You ever check out what their divorce rate is in marriage for couples who cohabitate then marry? They have a divorce rate of 80%. 8 out of 10 of them get divorced because they don't know what makes love work. They think you can just test drive each other. So we're not going to shack up. Number two, no way are we going to sleep together before our wedding night. If I had sex with Crystalina tonight, I would be lying to her. My body would be saying, I give myself totally to you. I belong completely to you. Everything that I'm giving is yours. But it'd be a lie. I don't belong to her. I'm not her husband. Even if my intentions were good, the embrace would be a lie. A movie came out a while back called Vanilla Sky, and in it, Tom Cruise sleeps with this girl, and after they have sex, she says to him, she says, your body is making promises to me, even if you won't. And the embrace of sex is that promise. I give myself completely to you. And unless I'm married, it's simply not true. And you might be thinking, okay, Jay, look, I get it. Okay, Jason, you shouldn't use a girl. But Jason, what if it's not like that? What if it's not like every time you get together, you're having sex? What if you really love each other and you totally agree that you're ready for this? Why can't you have sex? I'd say step back. What is love? Love means you do what is best for your beloved. And I ask you, is it best for Crystalina to wake up tomorrow morning thinking, am I going to be 2 weeks pregnant on our wedding day? Is my mom going to find out? Am I going to get disease? Am I getting used? Is it best for a girl to put her through these fears? It never is. So why are we abstinent? It's not because we're afraid of pregnancy or disease. It's because of love. It is so simple, because love can wait to give, but lust cannot wait to get. And if you're in a sexually active relationship, you can take the sex out and you can see if there's love there. We did this where we were in Michigan, speaking of this huge public high school, and there's 1,000 freshmen and 1,000 sophomores. The juniors and seniors weren't at the talk. And so after the talk, I'm hanging out with some students in the front, and a senior runs into the auditorium, and he's all mad. And he's like, and he's running through. He's like, dude. And he comes up to the front, and he's like, dude, who told my girlfriend all about secondary purity? And I said, me. And he comes up, and he's like, dude, and I go, what's the problem? And he said, dude, it turns out he was a senior, and his girlfriend was a freshman. He was one of these older guys who didn't have enough social skills to date a girl his own age, so he runs after the younger ones, you know, but I'm sure that only happens in Michigan. But what's the deal? what's the deal with the older guy, younger girl thing? How come older girls almost never go for younger guys? The reason is this. Girls mature faster than guys do. I'm sure you girls are thinking, wow, thanks for the revelation. But think about it. Look at a 14-year-old girl. 14-year-old girl's sitting at home, and she's thinking, I want a relationship where we can just talk about our friends and our family, we can communicate about our feelings, and yep. Okay, good. Look at a 14-year-old guy. 14-year-old guy is sitting at home, and he's like, I can make noises with my armpit. This is cool. I mean, we're just different. So a 14-year-old girl can get bored of the 14-year-old guy. But along comes Mr. High School guy to the junior high girl, Mr. Senior to the sophomore freshman, Mr. College guy to the high school girl. And immediately the girl says, oh my goodness, this is exciting. He's older than me, he's a little more mature, and he likes me. This is exciting. Little does she know that the younger girl is, the more naive she is to have heard the lines that he has to give her. Lines like this, baby girl, I love you so much. I've never felt this way when I was with any girl ever before. And I'm a guy in all of my temptations, but I don't want to pressure you to do anything sexually that you're not ready for, because I want it to be for the sake of love. And she thinks, oh, he's so loving. Little does she realize the guy will physically take from her everything she's willing to give him. He's not leading her to purity, he's wearing it down. He might even give her like a promise ring. A promise ring is like a little pacifier. You pop a pacifier in a kid's mouth, he thinks there's the real thing going on. And an older guy might give a girl a promise ring so she thinks any sexual stuff they do together is more special because she's got a little bling bling thing going on. And this does not mean that all promise rings are bad. It doesn't mean that all older guys are bad. But if he's as good as you think he is, how come some girl his own age hasn't snatched him up by now? Older guys know that younger girls are less likely to refuse them because the girls want to win the older guy's approval, but to step back. And so this senior runs into the auditorium. He's all mad. And I said, what's the problem? And he goes, well, he said, I just saw my girlfriend in the hallway and she looked all happy. And I said, where you been the last hour? And she said, oh, enjoying my new purity. So I came in here to see what the heck happened to her. And I said, well, you can sleep with her again. Just marry her one day. And he's like, and I go, well, isn't she worth waiting for? And he goes, no. It is the love test. And only when love is put to the test can its value be seen. So have the courage to apply it.
How can you actually live this lifestyle out? A couple of things. The first and foremost, for those of you that are in a sexually active relationship, to take the sex out and really see what your relationship is based upon. Because if you take the sex out, it will give you the clarity of mind to step back and say, okay, is this love or is this lust? Are they using me? Do they really love me? What's going on? And really put your love in the light and see what it's made of. Because if you take the sex out and you end up fighting and arguing, you end up breaking up, you're probably better off without that person to begin with. But if you guys end up staying together, what peace of mind knowing that that person is in it for you and not what you're giving them. That they love you as a person and not what you're doing with them. That is peace of mind right there. So to have the guts and courage to take it out and see what it's made of. This second thing, right now Jason and I, we're training ourselves in faithfulness. Chastity trains you in that faithfulness. Because one day when we're married, I'm just going to be 9 months pregnant, ready to go, and Jason is going to be at work. And he might have some cute little hot secretary now. Do you think the same temptations won't be there just because he has a ring on his finger? Of course not. They're still going to be there. But the thing is, he's trained himself in faithfulness now, so within marriage, he can be all the more faithful to me. So to train yourselves in faithfulness. And I know a lot of you are dating right now, and realize most of you right now is dating someone else's future spouse. To guard that person, protect that person, as you would want your future spouse guarded and protected in the same exact way. Now, when you date someone, to raise your standards high. And I know a lot of people say raise your standards high. When I say that, never have to lower yourself to date anyone. And I know a lot of people do that. And you know when you do that. But to keep your standards high, because everyone in this room, no matter where you've been, what you've done, you are worth waiting for, and you deserve the best. And if that person doesn't want to wait for you, or they're always pressuring you this or that, frankly, they're not worth you, and you deserve better than that. So to set your standards high.
Where do you go from here? I'd say, girls, take off after school, go to a shopping mall, buy a white candle. Let your husband light that on your wedding night as a sign of the purity that you've maintained from this day until the day that he lifted your veil. And if you've made some mistakes, it is never too late. We were at this high school. This guy was talking at a